There's some debate among domainers and those who focus on search engine optimization, or SEO, about the role of hyphens or dashes in domain names. But when it comes to resolving cyber squatting disputes, the message is clear. Hyphens just don't matter. For example, in one recent case under the UDRP, the Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, a panel found that this domain name, which contains the Lego trademark with hyphens in between each and every letter, was confusingly similar to the trademark, which means that it was easy for Lego to satisfy the first element of the UDRP's three-part test, which requires every trademark owner to prove that the disputed domain name is identical or confusingly similar to a trademark in which it has rights. In the Lego case, here's what the panel wrote. The disputed domain name includes the entirety of the distinctive Lego mark with the addition of hyphens between the letters. This addition does not prevent a finding of confusing similarity under the first element. The complainant's trademark is clearly recognizable as the distinctive element within the disputed domain name. And while including hyphens in between letters is a bit unusual, it is not at all uncommon for cyber squatters to use hyphens elsewhere in domain names, sometimes in between multiple words of a trademark, or to set off a trademark from another word, such as in the case of disabled-american-veterans.org, trivago-asia.com, or facebook-verifications.com, all real-life UDRP cases that resulted in decisions ordering transfers of these disputed domain names to the obvious trademark owners. Some UDRP cases have even included domain names with multiple consecutive hyphens, such as walmart.com, deltatickets.life, or bmwdeutschland.info, each of which has 3 dashes in the middle. Now, the technical rules for registering most domain names are clear. Hyphens are generally the only acceptable character other than letters and numbers, and a domain name cannot begin or end with a hyphen. Plus, IDNs, or internationalized domain names, rely on something called Punycode to translate Latin characters into letters found in languages other than English, using a string that includes XN followed by 2 hyphens. As I said at the outset, the value, if any, of hyphens in domain names is not necessarily clear. Few trademark owners seem to use them in their primary domain names, perhaps because they're considered unnecessary or confusing to users. In fact, on LinkedIn, one online brand protection professional studied the issue and wrote a post about it titled Hyphenated Domain Infringements, in which he included a mock-up of a fraudulent but true-to-life scam involving the use of a hyphenated domain name in a text message from someone impersonating a financial services provider. And he said that hyphenated domain name variants targeting the most valuable brand names by entities other than the brand owners is a significant issue and may be growing. And he encouraged brand owners to carry out comprehensive enforcement programs targeting the registration and use of these hyphenated domain names. Fortunately, as I already said, dashes are really irrelevant for purposes of the UDRP. So trademark owners should generally not have any concerns with filing complaints against domain names that include them. In typical cases, for example, UDRP panelists have written that hyphens are not relevantly distinguishing features, or that they cannot on their own avoid a finding of confusing similarity. Of course, the makeup of a domain name is just one issue to consider in a UDRP case. Even under the first element, a trademark owner still needs to establish that it actually has trademark rights, and it also has to prevail, of course, on the second and third elements regarding rights or legitimate interests and bad faith. But when it comes to the presence of a non-alphanumeric character in a disputed domain name, a trademark owner can dash off a complaint without any concerns. If you want to learn more about the UDRP, please check out my masterclass on domain name disputes, as well as other resources on my GigaLaw website. And be sure to subscribe to the GigaLaw YouTube channel to be notified of future videos discussing other internet legal issues. Thanks for watching, and see you next time online.